Unexplained lights in the skies. Haunting screams in abandoned asylums. People disappearing into thin air. Whispers of encounters that chill you to the bone. Are they just myths? Or is there something more? I'm Austin, and these are the Spook Files. Amelia Earhart, a pioneer, an icon, an enigma. Her daring spirit took her to unprecedented heights as the first female aviator to cross the Atlantic solo. But her most ambitious flight, an attempt to circumnavigate the globe, ended in a vanishing act that still haunts us to this day. Born in Kansas in 1897, Earhart defied societal norms, breaking into the male-dominated world of aviation. Her transatlantic flight in 1928 made her a household name. And in 1937, with navigator Fred Nguyen, she embarked on her most daring feat, flying around the world at its longest point, the equator. The flight was plagued by delays and technical issues, but on July 2nd, they departed New Guinea, aiming for the teeny Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean. It was the most dangerous leg of the trip. Over 2,500 miles of open ocean. Radio transmissions would detail their struggle against the weather and faulty navigation. And then, silence. A massive search began, but no trace of Earhart, Noonan, or their Lockheed Electra plane were ever found. Theories instantly emerged, and they continue to this day. Let's examine the possibilities, from the plausible to the truly extraordinary. The simplest explanation is that they ran out of fuel and crashed into the vast Pacific Ocean, the plane sinking deep to the ocean floor. Poor weather, radio malfunctions, and navigational errors could all have contributed. However, no wreckage or debris that has been found has ever been definitively linked to Earhart's plane. Some speculate that they landed on the Japanese-held Marshall Islands to the north and were captured or killed. This theory has gained some traction with possible radio transmissions, fuzzy photographs, and some island locals who claim that she landed on the island and then was captured. But this theory remains controversial and lacks any solid evidence. Then there is the desert island theory. Earhart and Nguyen landed on an uninhabited island at the time known as Gardner Island, forced to make an emergency landing due to the lack of their fuel. British authorities would, just a few years later, recover what could be human bones and the partial remains of a skeleton. Not only that, but they found remnants of a campsite there as well. Some of the bones that were recovered were studied by a doctor who determined that they could not be Amelia's bones because they were of a short European man. And then he promptly disposed of the bones. Modern studies of the bone measurements have concluded that they could have matched Amelia's bones. But without the bones for DNA testing, we may never know. Many theorize that the massive coconut crabs on the island are responsible for eating away the bodies of the two, and why only partial remains were ever found. Now, of course, with a case as well known as this one, there are, of course, the supernatural theories and other unlikely theories. Our first supernatural theory states that Amelia got caught in a supernatural storm that either transported her through dimensions or through time. There is not really much else to this theory. It's just kind of something that someone put out there. The second supernatural theory is, of course, that she was abducted by aliens. Again, there is really not much more to this theory, other than some claim the reason for her radio issues was due to the aliens. Now, with our fun but lacking supernatural theories out of the way, let's look at some other theories that are considered more plausible but highly unlikely. One theory was that Earhart was actually a spy and then was captured on the Marshall Islands and then either executed or forced to become a Tokyo Rose, a group of English-speaking female radio broadcasters who spread Japanese propaganda during World War II. Another theory is that the pair faked their death in order to escape the fame that they had gained. Earhart, in particular, had said she was overwhelmed by the amount of fame she had gained. Earhart also seemed to detest her husband, only reluctantly marrying him after he had proposed several times. She also wrote a letter to him detailing the conditions of their marriage that implied they would have an open relationship. While this theory is unlikely, there are some who believe Amelia faked her death and became Irene Craigmire Bolam, a former pilot turned baker who claimed to know Amelia Earhart. A book was even published about this conspiracy, but Irene denied this conspiracy furiously and actually ended up suing the publisher for $1.5 million. While I am not sure if she won the case, I do know that books were taken off the shelf pretty quickly, though some still believe this to this day. Finally, while not a theory in itself, there is a weird detail of the case that I do love to mention. For about a week after she went missing, people all around the world reported to have received radio signals of a woman's voice asking for help, identifying them as Amelia Earhart. One of these signals in particular involved the woman arguing and pleading with a male voice, saying that the water was rising and begging to be let out. While this was reported to the Coast Guard, they ignored it. Now, as this is one of those stories that has haunted us since the day it happened, there have been constant and endless investigations into the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. And recently, there has been a promising possible lead. A company called Deep Sea Vision found an anomaly while scanning 5,200 square miles of the ocean floor near Howland Island. The fuzzy image that was produced appears to be that of a plane, with dimensions that could easily match Earhart's plane. While nothing is definite at the moment, Deep Sea Vision has plans to study the site and prove once and for all if it is Earhart's plane. Personally, I am a big fan of the desert island theory and the coconut crabs. But what do you think happened to Amelia Earhart? Do you think the recent wreckage that was found is her plane? Do you think it was aliens or that she was a spy? Or maybe you have an idea that wasn't mentioned at all in this video. Share your theories in the comments below. And remember, stay spooky. The world is a strange and mysterious place. What we encounter tonight serves as a reminder. There's more to this reality than we understand. Keep your eyes open, question the shadows, and remember, the truth may be closer than you think. Until next time, stay curious, stay spooky, and good night.